Keek on the mic, keek on the mic. Keek on the mic, keek on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is Keek on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Like always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Before I go any further with today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I just want to remind you guys that the podcast is almost at 4,500 subscribers. And once I get to 5,000 subscribers, I will be doing a huge giveaway to show my appreciation for all the support and love you guys show Keek on the Mic. So make sure, once again, I'm going to keep saying this until I'm blue in the face, make sure you share every single podcast video with every single Bears fan that you know, so I can have the opportunity to give out some awesome prizes to some very, very loyal Keek on the Mic listeners. So I think you guys are going to enjoy today's topic here on Keek on the Mic, and I am going to have a whole lot of fun actually talking about this. The report out of Chicago is this: Matt Eberflus is holding players accountable at training camp. And this is something that I've touched on before a couple of episodes ago, and I just don't want this to go unnoticed. And I just want to really stress on today's episode of Keek on the Mic how important it is that Matt Eberflus and this new Chicago Bears coaching staff, it is that they're holding these players accountable. So once again, I just don't want this to go unnoticed, and I just love how much Matt Eberflus is already changing the culture of the Chicago Bears football team, and even better yet, the players are really buying into this new culture that Matt Eberflus is bringing to Chicago. And just like I just mentioned, Matt Eberflus is holding every player accountable, and that already showed in day 2 of the Bears training camp when Eberflus gave the defense an earful during drills. And according to many people in attendance, because obviously the Chicago Bears opened it up for fans and the media to come watch day 2 of Chicago Bears training camp, and according to many people in attendance, Eberflus was yelling at the defense for not going full speed and made them do the drills over again. Eberflus even was calling out individual players like Eddie Jackson for not giving full effort. And apparently, the people that were in attendance at the Bears training camp can overhear Matt Eberflus yelling, saying, "That's not full speed. Run. Run." And let me tell you, Bears fans, I absolutely love it. And I know some of you guys may already comment down below in the podcast today and say, well, Keek, why in the hell does this matter? It really matters. This is huge that Matt Eberflus is changing the culture, that he's focusing on the details, that he's holding every player accountable. Because if you practice hard, if you go 100%, that means it will translate to the games. Under the Matt Nagy administration, he was allowing guys to maybe go half-ass on drills, right? Not making them redo the drills, not focusing on the attention to details. Matt Eberflus, this is his way to change the culture. This is his way to hold players accountable. If you're not going to come here and work hard, either get the hell off the field or come and put your best foot forward. So I absolutely love this. And this is exactly what Matt Eberflus said he was going to do when he took over back in January, and he made it clear that the standards were going to change with him in charge. And that means, once again, that every single player on the roster would be required to give no less than 100% on every play, regardless of practice or the game. The oldest saying in the book, you practice like you play, right? If you come and you practice more than 100%, it will most likely translate to the game. If you come and work hard, the game will probably be a whole lot easier for you. But if you come and you go half-ass on the drills, you won't be able to execute on game day. So it makes a whole lot of sense that Matt Eberflus is holding these players accountable and is changing the culture of this Chicago Bears football team. And something that I love is that, obviously, when you bring coaches in, they also have to buy into this new culture. And all the coaches are all in on Matt Eberflus' new culture that he's bringing over to Chicago. So, for example, if coaches see a player not giving 100%, for example, they will get called out. And that's something that I really love. Yes, these are grown men. I understand that. But even a grown man can get called out every once in a while. For example, I just mentioned Eddie Jackson. This is a very crucial year for him. Eddie Jackson doesn't have time to go half-ass on drills. This is a huge year for Eddie Jackson. He needs to be given 120% on every single rep, not only in practice, but in the game. Because let me tell you, if you don't show up, if you don't pay attention to the details, you're not going 100%, you're either not going to play or you're either not going to be a Chicago Bear anymore. And I absolutely love it because we don't have any time for anybody on the Chicago Bears roster to be wasting our time. If you're going to be a Chicago Bear, you need to put your best foot forward and you need to come to win every single day, not only in practice, but in the game. So I absolutely love it. And like I said, this coaching staff is all about the details and effort, and it starts with Matt Eberflus. And the more and more, and like I said earlier on, when we first hired Matt Eberflus to be the new head coach of the Chicago Bears, I was a little bit skeptical. But let me tell you, I absolutely love what I see from Matt Eberflus as a leader so far. And these players understand, and I'm going to mention this again, these players understand if you don't put your best foot forward and don't go 100%, you either won't play or you will not, or you won't be a part of this Chicago Bears roster come week 1 against the San Francisco 49ers. So it creates that more tension, right? And it forces the players to give 100%, even on the smallest drills, right? You still have to pay close attention to the details, give full effort on every single drill, and I absolutely love it. So as Bears fans, we have to love the new culture that Eberflus has already established, and it was a much-needed change. Obviously, going from Matt Nagy, where there wasn't really a culture, to Matt Eberflus, where he's come in and already in the first couple of days of training camp, you can clearly see that the culture for the Chicago Bears football team is already changed, and I absolutely love it. And I understand, will this lead to wins right away? Time will have to tell. Probably not. This is probably still a 6 to 9 win football team, right? Maybe we get surprised and they win more games, but it may not, just because Matt Eberflus is calling out his guys, he's paying close attention to detail, it doesn't always translate to wins, right? But one thing I can say about Matt Eberflus leading the charge and leading this football team, I can guarantee you that this team will be ready to play and compete every single week. And that's something that I can feel confident about and truly guarantee that every Sunday this team will be ready to play. Because when you pay attention to those close details, right, and you're an effort-based team, our guys will be ready to play. So this team, it's going to be really fun to watch this team because it may not be a winning year for the Chicago Bears, but I can tell you that they are going to be competitive. They are going to be ready because that's what Matt Eberflus expects from them every day at practice, and that should allow us to see some hopefully positive results when we come and play on Sunday. So it's all because, at the end of the day, it's all because the accountability Eberflus is demanding from his players. And let me tell you, I absolutely love it. I can't stress that enough, that this is so important. If you think this is not a big deal, that's on you. But for me personally, as a Bears fan, I love to see a coach call his players out because that's how you get the best out of your athletes on the roster. So I'm excited for the season, guys. Like always, how do you guys feel about the accountability Matt Eberflus is demanding from his players? Let me know down below in the comment section. Before I let you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of Geek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. But other than that, I'll be back for an all-new Bears podcast right here on Geek on the Mic. Thanks, guys, and bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Geek on the Mic.